Hi folks, Dave Schmidt here. Hey, it's right around noon here on September 2nd as I'm coming to you with this new weekly newsletter video. This week I want to talk about illusion versus reality. Where are you, not only in this whole RV process, but where are you in your life with that? And why that is so extremely important about how we view, how we perceive, and how we process what is going on in our lives around this whole revaluation and this global currency reset. But before I do that, I want to give a couple introductory comments. I'm in the backyard of a friend's house, and in the background you see one of my other most favorite places here in Sedona. That's called Thunder Mountain. If you're basically in West Sedona, and if you're up on what is called the Airport Plateau, you get to look down into this valley with Thunder Mountain in the background. Beautiful, beautiful setting here. It's in the opposite direction of what I normally come to you from what is Cathedral Rock. There's another couple things I want to mention. This coming Saturday, September 6th, in Tustin, California, the workshop. Plenty of seats are still available. If you would like to come, just send me an email. Remember, I have always said, as long as there's room, you're able to come. And there's information that is given in these workshops I cannot share on video, basically for security reasons. Other issues is around copyright issues as well, is because of the fact that I can say it verbally, but if I was to say it and it got out into the internet, people can distort that, take it, shift it, change it, and do whatever they want with that. You understand that. So I'm always able to give a lot more in-depth information at these workshops about what's really going on. And I'm an absolute believer of what is developing. In fact, if you listened to last Wednesday's radio program, in my interview with the ambassador and another lady who goes by the name of Jace, you're beginning to see what is unfolding. And then last Saturday, there was a 4-hour teleconference meeting with various members of what I would call the ambassador's team, or those that are being involved with him. And there were about 15 people mostly from Latin American countries, along with the ambassador and with Ron Van Dyke. And I was supposed to be involved in that, but there was a miscommunication and it went on for 4 hours, so I wasn't able to be involved in that. But the Red Dragon himself addressed everybody. And it was after that that I got a call from the ambassador, and he explained what had developed and what had taken place. But what I've done in this week's newsletter, I've attached a video where Ron Van Dyke interviews the ambassador and Jace. It's about a little over 25 minutes long after that 4-hour meeting. And in there, you begin to see what is the development of the family, what is their vision, what is their desire to release these funds unto humanity. And they call that the freeing of humanity. And as I've been saying now for close to 2 months, it's just not going to happen in the way that most of us had thought. And that's what I'm calling the illusion. Well, what does this mean when I say that? Are you living in an illusion, or are you living in reality? Albert Einstein, almost 100 years ago, had said, the world that we live in is an illusion. It is not real. Quantum physics has shown that, proven to us over and over and over again, that what we perceive with our 5 physical senses at that level is only an illusion to what is real. I've given this as an illustration. I come back and it says, this hand, is this really physical? Is it real? My mind, with my 5 physical senses, perceives and senses, yes, that it is. It's physical. I feel touch. If I come and I bang it up against something, I'm going to feel pain. But is that real? Because when I take this hand and place it under an electron microscope, I see that it's 99.9% space. Mostly just air is all that it is. So what is real? What is under the microscope, or what I perceive through my 5 physical senses? We want to believe that what we perceive in this world around us, in our 5 physical senses, is what is real. But hard data physics, science at the quantum level says no, it's just the opposite. What is real is that everything in the world is comprised of energy, and most of it is just space. But the mind, the human mind, perceives it as being real. So what does that mean? That means that almost everything that we perceive with our human mind is only an illusion. We live in a world that we perceive, we think is real, but is illusionary. And last week I talked about Hollywood, movies. We live in a world that in the illusion we perceive that there are these people who are called the Cabal. They seem very real to us. And for millennia, this Cabal has had one primary objective: to keep us as slaves. Whether it be political slaves through thousands of years through the controls of kings, monarchs, and dictators, or moving into what is called a form of a financial slavery that we have been experiencing in our lives for about the last 250 years. They mastermind and control the world's financial affairs. They create this world that we think of how global finances work, that is really just an illusion, when behind the scenes, they are controlling the puppet strings, controlling the people who we think are in control. I've said this before. If you think the President of the United States is the most powerful man in the world, then why are there 20 plus levels of top secret above him that he never gets to know? And if you think Congress of the United States are these all-powerful people, then why is it that nothing ever seems to get done, even though they have good intentions? Because that's the illusion that is given to us. And we think and we blame them for when things go wrong, but in reality you've got this Cabal out here that's controlling the finances, the money, because we live in a world that money requires almost everything that we do. So what's happening in this RVGCR process? Well, before I say that, I want to say this. The ambassador has said this, I have said this, many others have said this. The Cabal, they are masters at creating illusion. They are masters at creating deception. They are masters at creating a world that we perceive, that we think is real, that is not. That is what they want to do, because as long as they can create the illusions for us to believe in, then they stay in control. They stay in power. They stay in that world where they want to keep us as slaves to them. That's millenniums of human history, not just recently. So what is the important thing for us? The important thing for us is to begin to wake up and realize that what we're seeing is really just an illusion. And there's other stuff that is going on behind the scenes that is very real. In my interview with the ambassador last week, he started using a new term. He started calling the Cabal the boys from Disneyland. And even in the video that he did with Ron on Saturday, he uses that term again. And he's also starting to call out the blog writers, calling them also the boys from Disneyland. Because see, here's the reality, folks. The vast majority of the blog writers who have been giving us this story day after day, week after week, that we keep buying into, there's one or two things happening. Some of them are being paid by Cabal sources to keep the illusion alive and the illusion real. Others, they think that they're being given information from their sources and that they absolutely truly believe in, but don't understand that there's a deception that is going on with that. It's all about creating the illusion. So we continue to believe in this illusion. People continue to believe in this RV is going to happen any day and that I get to go into the bank and I'm going to get my millions of dollars. That's the illusion they want you to believe in. That's the illusion that as long as you keep feeding into it, as long as you keep believing it, as long as all of us, and I included myself in that for a long time, wanted to continue to buy into that, then we keep feeding it and we keep it alive. See, people sometimes want to stay in the illusion because when you have to admit to yourself that what you've been perceiving and believing isn't real, you have to step back, you have to face reality, and that's very painful. And it's also very fearful. It means I don't know what world I'm living in. I don't know what is really going on in here. And there is something out there that I don't know. And subconsciously, it's easier for me to believe in the dream, believe in the illusion, because it pacifies my fear. It pacifies my anger. It pacifies that I have been deceived. At some point in time, folks, we all have to step out of the illusion. Now, illusions happen at all kinds of different levels and different issues and different instances of how they take place. We are all there. We are all at different processes in our lives in believing the illusion. I include myself in that. That's called the human condition. But all of life is about moving from an illusion into a reality. Starting to understand that the world that I perceive with my 5 physical senses is not what is real, but there is something else that is far beyond that is real. It doesn't mean that I don't respect the illusion. See, I still respect the fact that I feel that this hand is real, and I can't go and put it through a wall. I can't just all of a sudden start to fly, because I respect the illusion that my mind has been conditioned to believe, and that it takes lifetimes, multiple, to undo the DNA programming where we have programmed our mind to believe that this illusionary world is real when it is not. All of that underneath it comes back to what is called dualism. Now, time doesn't allow me to go into explaining that into deeper depths. But we all live lives of moving from various stages of what we call dualism, separate, to moving into understanding that everything in this world is one. Everything is connected. Once we can see the electron and the energy, we realize that all energy, everything in this universe, has a connected base, and it all comes back to the original source of what some people would call God, and are connected to that. Jesus had said, the Father and I are one. We see really early traces of this in the early Hebraic teachings of what is called the Shema statement. And this is a statement that went back literally thousands of years. And it's recorded early in the Bible. And this is what it says. The early Hebrews had said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." In Hebrew, that term is Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Yechad. Now, why am I familiar with that? Because 35 years ago, that was a part of my master's thesis. They understood something. We have traditionally been taught that phrase, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, talking about monotheism, when that's not what it was. The Lord our God, i.e. the universe source, is one. It's all connected. Everything is connected in a sense of oneness. That's what's real. But we live in this world of separation. Me versus you. Good versus evil. Bad versus wrong. High versus low. Wide versus narrow. And the list goes on. Of duality. Creating duality. And as long as the mind operates in duality, then the mind operates in the illusion and doesn't move into the position of reality of oneness. Now again, how does this relate to you and me? And what we want to see is this RV to come about in our lives. Remember last week I shared something? I was talking with this friend, and this friend made this statement, and I says, we're all waiting for the RV to happen. And she had come back and says, but Dave, you want to know what? The RV is waiting for us. Because we live in a world of time. We want dates, and we all know and understand there are non-physical entities that can communicate with us from the other side of what is called the illusionary veil. And they can go into the other side and they say, we don't see a world of time because time is non-existent on our side of the veil. What we see is energy. And you say you're waiting for the RV, but we see the RV, which is a collection of energetic events that you program and bring about in your lives, and it's vibrating at a certain frequency. And it's operating at a higher frequency than you. So you say, I'm waiting for the RV, but the RV is saying, I'm waiting for you to match my frequency so I can come into existence to you. Everything that we experience in our world of the 5 physical senses first takes place in an energetic form. And then it's our thought process that brings it from the unseen energetic form into the seen physical form. That's how events in our lives are created. That's how the experiences that we have with certain events that we have within us, because we bring it from the non-physical into the physical. For this RV to take place, it means we have to raise our energy frequencies. Now, I have said this, and I absolutely believe this. There's the dragon family who have been the trustees of this gold that's here on the planet for millenniums. And as the trustees, if you could put this into another form, all of that gold, which we perceive as physical, actually operates at an energetic level. And it vibrates at a certain energy frequency. And it's, if I can use kind of a metaphor as an illustration, it's saying, this gold that is vibrating, it's waiting to come into alignment with us as we raise our vibrational frequency so it can be put to its appropriate use of what it is intended to be put to use for. Now, if you caught what the ambassador and Ron and Jace were saying in this video that I encourage you to listen to, you will understand, excuse me, my phone's ringing, okay? I shut my phone off. You will understand what is called the vision of the family, the freeing of humanity. But before this money and this gold can be released to free humanity, we need to raise our vibrational frequency to be in alignment with it. And guess what? There are places that is already happening. And I absolutely, absolutely believe that is going to happen. There are thousands and thousands of you who have watched my videos, read my newsletters, who you continue to believe that. It's extremely important that you don't quit, you don't give up, and you think this was all just a pipe dream. No, it's the process of faith that will bring it into us. There's far too many of us that have a passion for this and believe that this is actually going to happen for us. As we continue to work through that process, we are collectively raising the energy vibration for these funds to be released. Now, the ambassador has said this. He says, the funds will be released, but it's going to be a step-by-step process over a period of time. Some of it's happening right now. There are areas of the world right now that they are releasing funds. Some of it is also what you've heard about from my is making sure that you're developing your own plan. In the past, I've used the term develop a business plan. I want to shift. Develop a visionary plan. What's the vision that you would have for these funds when you receive them? What would you do with them? Write that down, put it down on paper. It's very similar to where the book The Secret and other law of attraction teachings say is to create a vision board. It's something that you see, because as you see it in the physical, you then begin to create the energy to bring it into existence. Create a vision plan. It's for you. Don't send them to me. We're not in any position to do that. I did use the term business plan because that's how most people operate. But I want to shift and I'll say create a vision plan. Create a vision plan to bring this RV from illusion into reality, into your life. Because that's how this universe works. It always starts first in the area of the etheric, the non-seen, in the vision. And as you keep the vision alive and keep creating the energy of that, keep building upon it and letting it continue to grow, it moves from vision to become a reality for you and I in the physical world. I absolutely believe that. I believe that with everything that I have within me. I wouldn't be here doing this if I didn't. Because there's people that say I'm crazy. There's people that say that you're crazy. What we need to do is to allow ourselves to move from the illusion. We all have various states of illusion. I have various states of illusion. But to be continually working on that in our lives, to be moving from a state of the illusion into the state of reality. Allow ourselves to understand that this RV is not going to unfold as we thought it was going to. But yet it is still very much in a process, because the people who are the trustees of all those funds are saying they want to release it. They're waiting for you and me to bring ourselves into the position of letting go of the illusion and moving into the reality. What's the reality you want in your life? What is the vision that you have? Begin to bring that about. Begin to allow that to develop for you. And it is there that we will begin to allow those things to happen in our lives. Okay? Thank you, folks. I want to thank you once again for everything that you've been doing in here. I get to shut this off with my cell phone now. Isn't that something? Okay. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed this. Would love to see you at the workshop this coming Saturday in Tustin, California, and then also September 20th in Orlando, Florida. A lot of great stuff that's taking place there. Okay? Have an absolutely wonderful time. Thank you very much. Love all of you. Okay. Bye-bye.